Board of Appeals meeting. I'm Candace Breyer, Chairperson of the Zoning Board of Appeals. The Zoning Board of Appeals is a 9-person volunteer board nominated by the mayor and approved by City Council. First, we will hear from Planning Services, represented by John Barrett. Then the applicant or their representative will make their presentation. Applicants will have 5 minutes in which to make their presentation. Staff will keep time and will announce when 30 seconds are remaining. Public comment is available in person or remotely. We will first call on individuals present to address the board, then remote participants. To speak during a public hearing or during public comment remotely, press *9 if listening by phone, or use the raise hand feature if viewing through the web link. For phone access, call 877-853-5247 and enter meeting ID 938-1648-1007. City staff will select callers that have raised their hand using the last 3 digits of your phone number or by name if available for those accessing through the web link. You will hear an automated announcement that the host is allowing you to speak. When speaking, please move to a quiet area and mute any television or background sounds. We may ask questions of either the city or the applicant. We will acknowledge any written comments received by the board. We will allow an appearing party to express their support or objections. The board will then discuss the appeal and formulate a motion to approve that appeal. 5 affirmative votes of the board will be required for an appeal to be granted. Finally, any qualified party who is aggrieved by a decision of the board can appeal that decision to the Washtenaw Circuit Court on a timely basis. Roll call. Candace Breyer, I am here. Todd Grant.
I am here.
Dave DeVarty.
DeVarty here.
Patty Laskowski.
Here.
Julie Weatherby.
Here.
Drew Denson.
Here.
Mike Daniel. Dharma Ackman.
Here.
Christina Glusak. We have a quorum. Moving on to approval of the agenda. Are there any questions, comments on the agenda? If not, do we have a motion to approve the agenda? Excellent. Motion by Julie, seconded by Dharma. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Moving on to minutes. We have minutes from our last meeting on December 4th, 2024. Are there any questions, comments, corrections to those minutes? If not, do we have? Yep.
Spelling changes? There's one place where Mike's name was misspelled at the end.
All right.
Should we correct that? I don't think.
I think we're probably fine.
Scrivener's error.
Okay.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes? From Todd? Thank you. Support?
Support.
Thank you, Dave. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to public hearings. First, we have ZBA 24-0039, 426 South 4th Avenue. John?
Good evening, I'm John Barrett, zoning coordinator for the city of Ann Arbor. The first case this evening is ZBA 24-0039, and the address is 426 South 4th Avenue. Care One Rental LLC is requesting relief from section 5.32.2, alteration to a non-conforming structure, in order to finish currently non-habitable space in the basement and create a new unit in the basement, which will contain 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Also part of this project will be a 258 square foot second-story addition over an existing first floor addition area in the southwest corner of the property to this existing non-conforming residence. The proposed interior remodel construction will reconfigure the existing apartments from 6 units, currently 10 bedrooms, down to 4 units, which will have 20 bedrooms. The property is zoned R4C, multiple family dwelling district. The subject property is located on the west side of 4th Avenue between East William Street and Packard Street in the Germantown neighborhood. The apartment building was built in 1901 and is approximately 3,357 square feet in size. The subject property is non-conforming for lot area as it's 8,189 square feet and the number of dwelling units is 6. The owners are proposing a new addition over the existing first floor area on the southwest corner of the building. The second floor addition will contain 2 bedrooms and a full bathroom for the unit number 3. The addition meets the R4C district setback requirements for the side and rear yards. However, the newly created habitable space in the basement will be a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom unit. The new basement construction does require the alteration approval from the Zoning Board of Appeals. If you'll turn your attention to the monitors, the first slide, as you can see, is the location or zoning map, and you can see the subject property highlighted in green in the middle of the screen. The second slide is the location map showing surrounding properties and existing conditions. And the next slide is a zoomed-in aerial photo of the subject property, and the new addition is going to be right over this area of the first floor. The first slide is the survey that was submitted by the applicant. And the next slide is the site plan that was submitted by the applicant as well. And you can see the hatched-in area showing the proposed addition. Like I said, though, previously, this isn't part of the required alteration, which is the basement construction, but this is part of the project. The next slide shows the elevations proposed. You see the side elevation on the left-hand corner, the north elevation, the rear or the west elevation, and on the where my cursor is going over, that's where the addition on the second floor is going to be. And then you've got the side south elevation at the bottom, and then the front east elevation in the lower right corner. The next slide shows the basement demolition plan, and this is where one of the units, unit number 4, will be going. The next slide shows first floor demolition, second floor demolition, and then the next slides show the proposed construction and the new basement floor plan, which I said this is going to be a unit number 4 and 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. The next slide is the first floor, which contains apartment number 1 with 2 bedrooms and 1 bath on that, and that apartment extends up to the second floor. And then also the first floor contains apartment number 2 with 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. The second floor is a continuation of apartment 1 with 4 bedrooms and 2 baths, and apartment number 3 with 5 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. These are the photos I took at the inspection. You see the front facade of the building. Looking down the driveway towards the rear of the property, this side of the home, and this is where the addition is going to be on the back of it. This is looking directly at the rear of the residence, and the addition will be right here over this part. And then this is looking at the north side of the building. That's all the slides and information I have at this time, and I can take any questions that you may have.
Thank you, John. Any questions? Yeah, Dharma.
I guess I'm a little bit confused by the staff report that says that they're seeking relief from the zoning to construct this addition on the second floor, but then later on it says that they're seeking relief for the basement build. So can you?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to clarify in my presentation. It's the alterations just for the habitable space in the basement. But the 258 square foot addition doesn't require alteration. It's just part of the project. Because the addition meets the setbacks for it, so.
So what is it we're asked to consider?
The basement, to allow new habitable space in the basement.
And what does that conflict with?
Because the property is non-conforming. And so in order,
Oh,
so in
okay.
order to
Got it.
do new habitable space
Okay.
with a non-conforming R4C property, it requires a ZBA approval for, like, when they want to do basement space or
Oh, okay.
space in the attic.
Okay.
To create, yep.
Any other questions for John? All right, if the petitioner is here, if you would like to come forward, sign in, state your name for the record, you'll have 5 minutes.
Good evening. My name is David Lewis. I am the architect for the project. I'm with Lewis Greenspan Architects at 440 South Main Street. in Ann Arbor. So a couple of points I just wanted to emphasize. We are just seeking permission to alter a non-conforming property. All the new work conforms with all the zoning codes. And the property is actually in my opinion, I guess the main non-conforming issue is the property is not 8,500 square feet, which R4C requires, but it's like 8,200 square feet. Like we're only 300 square feet away from being a legal R4C lot. And that would allow 4 units. And right now the building's 6, so this work is actually kind of bringing the building more in line with the zoning code. And also this work will include improving the whole building. So, new kitchen appliances, Energy Star appliances, new windows, upgraded thermal performance, upgraded, new heating systems. So it's going to really benefit the whole entire building significantly. John, just to clarify, wouldn't the second floor addition still require permission to alter because it's adding space to a non-conforming property?
Yes.
I just want to make sure we get, if we need permission for both things, I want to make sure that gets on the record.
I think it might.
Like I believe if we were only doing the second floor addition, we'd still need to get ZBA permission to alter a non-conforming property.
But, let's see, let me read it again because it's a little confusing. And it meets the setback requirements
Correct.
and the height requirements, and it meets
Correct.
everything with chapter 55. So.
Correct.
That's the.
But it does add habitable space.
Yeah. So, yeah, I will agree with you and Dave that in this assessment that I'll change my status that it does require approval as well. So both construction encompassing requires the alteration approval. Even though the new addition meets all the requirements, it's creating new habitable space, but it does meet the setbacks and the height.
Correct. Yeah, everything is zoning code compliant.
I just want to say the motion sheet I have in front of me refers to the construction of a second-story addition. It's
Yeah.
part of the motion to,
Okay.
for the
It
alteration.
includes it.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're
that
covered.
In terms of the motion, if I make the motion, it's going to be covered.
We're covered. All right.
Any questions for me?
Any questions for the petitioner?
I've got a
Yeah,
question.
Dave.
How many parking spaces do you have in the lot?
Currently,
Currently?
do you know the number of
We
parking
have
spaces?
like 8 at the back, and we have the driveway and the back parking lot.
And that's not changing, you're going to
Correct.
retain
We're
the
not
8
touching,
spaces?
yeah, we're not adding or subtracting any parking.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions for the petitioner? All right, thank you very much. If there is anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this petition, now is your chance. The public hearing is open. If you are accessing the meeting remotely, if you are accessing remotely, you can come on forward. You can go first.
Mustafa Ali of K1 Rental. The house is a student rental in the neighborhood, and the remodel will bring the house up to code and provide additional fire safety, fire separation between the units, fresh new alarm system, new heating and cooling systems. In each unit, there's currently no cooling. New electrical system, new plumbing up to code, and inside every unit will have its own laundry. Now there is no laundry, and the all 6 units does not have laundry. And we're using top quality classic cherry kitchen cabinets with the granite countertops. We're doing all granite countertops, top quality building material, and the new energy-efficient appliances. We are staying within the original footprint of the building, and probably John will agree with that. And no parking spaces will be lost. Actually, we're improving the parking. And the remodel will bring the house up to full potential and increase density without losing any square footage of the lot.
Thank you. If there's anyone else who wishes to speak on this petition, please come forward. If you're accessing remotely, please press *9 or use the raise hand button if you're accessing through the web link.
There are no callers at this time.
Thank you, John.
Ready to make a motion?
With that, the public hearing is closed and we're in discussion or perhaps ready for a motion.
Well, I'll make the motion and then we could discuss if what people want.
All right, thanks, Dave.
ZBA 24-0039, 426 South 4th Avenue, alteration to a non-conforming structure. The Zoning Board of Appeals hereby grants relief from Section 5.32.2, alteration to a non-conforming structure, to allow construction of a 258 square foot second-story addition to the non-conforming structure, as well as new habitable space in the basement. The proposed interior remodel construction will reconfigure the existing apartments from 6 units, 10 bedrooms, to 4 units, 20 bedrooms. Work will also include creating new habitable space in the basement to include a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom unit. The addition and interior remodeling are to be built per the submitted plans.
Thank you, Dave. We have a motion. Do we have support? Thank you, Todd. Is there any discussion?
I'll say this is adding new housing in an area that is quite dense already, and we're not losing any parking. It's the kind of housing that meets the needs of a lot of students and non-students in this area, and I support it.
All right, Todd,
Yes.
Dharma,
Yes.
Julie,
Yes.
Dave,
DeVarty, yes.
Patty,
Yes.
Drew.
Yes.
I also vote yes. The request is granted. Moving on to petition ZBA 24-0040, 1921 Cambridge Road. John?
Scott Crandall, representing the property owner, is requesting a variance of 4 feet 4 inches from section 5.18.5, establishing a front building line. The variance will allow construction of a new 2-car garage to encroach into the 40-foot average front setback. The property is zoned R1C single-family residential. The subject property is located on the west side of Cambridge Road between Hill Street and Day Street in the Angel neighborhood. The existing residence was constructed in 1912 and is approximately 2,572 square feet in size. The applicant is proposing the demolition of an existing single-car garage with a new 2-car garage that encroaches 4 feet 4 inches into the 40-foot average front setback. The garage is approximately 29 feet by 25 feet for a total of 752 square feet. The applicant is proposing to have an outdoor patio and outdoor living space on the roof of the proposed garage. If you turn your attention to the monitors, the first slide is the zoning map. You see the subject property highlighted in green on your map. The next slide is the zoning, or the location map showing surrounding properties and existing conditions. And the next slide is the zoomed-in aerial photo of the subject property. The next slide is the survey that was submitted with the application. And the next slide is the proposed site plan and an existing context site plan, kind of an aerial photo. And then you see the proposed new 2-car garage, and this is this slice of the corner of the northeast corner of the garage is going to be the 4 foot 4 inch encroachment. The steps you can see Stairs and egress are allowed to encroach into setback, so those are not part of the variance request. They do not require a variance. The next slide is the lower level demolition plan, and you see the existing average front setback line and the existing garage and how it complies now. The next slide is the more of the garage foundation, showing its current state. And the next slide is the lower level floor plan of the garage. And you see the encroachment that's called out right here into that front setback. And the next slide shows the main floor plan, or second story above the roof of the garage. And they're calling it a patio and some outdoor furniture. Next slide is the photos that were submitted with the application by the petitioner. And the next slide shows a conceptual design of the project, and it kind of looking from the southeast and the northeast perspectives. Next slide are the photos that I took at the inspection of the property. You see from the street, from Cambridge, looking up towards the property, and the existing garage where my cursor is. And the next slide shows the existing garage in its current location and how it's in its current state. Next slide shows the existing steps going up to the top of the garage and into the front porch and the second story of the garage. This is looking out from the front porch to the neighbors across the street. Kind of gives a perspective of the neighborhood and the home and how it sits in its current state. This is looking, you see this subject property and looking north along Cambridge and the neighbors. And the next slide shows looking south towards the properties and the neighbors and the subject property to the right of your screen. That is the end of my presentation, and I will take any questions that you may have at this time.
Thank you, John. Questions? All right. If the petitioner is here, if you could please come forward, sign in for the record, state your name. You'll have 5 minutes.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Timothy Risk. I'm the architect with Meadowlark. Scott Crandall is my colleague. I don't know if the name needs to be changed for the record or not, but this house was designed by Albert Kahn. The homeowners are committed to restoring this house, preserving it for its historical character. The current garage and patio are failing structurally, along with the retaining walls. So they're committed to replacing it regardless of whether we build them a 2-car garage or a 1-car garage. In 1912, when the house was built, Model Ts were on the road for 4 years. And if it was built for a car, it was probably something very small. So not only is it's a 1-car garage in width, but it's also very shallow. So even now, they're unable to park a car in it. So we could have moved this over towards the driveway more to get out of that setback line. But because that isn't symmetrical and doesn't align with the house the way the original Kahn design was meant for it to be, we would have suggested doing that. And that's basically it. Just wanted to let you know that we don't think this is going to change the appearance from the street much at all, because it's partially shielded by landscaping and retaining walls. That the garage is kind of a retaining wall for the landscaping. So we think it will appear to be the same. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the petitioner? All right, if there's anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this petition, now's your chance. If you're here with us in person, please come forward. If you're accessing remotely, please press star 9 or use the raise hand button.
There are no callers at this time.
Thank you, John. I will note we did receive 5 letters of support from neighbors at 3001 Geddes, 1900 Cambridge, 1950 Cambridge, 1905 Cambridge, and 1925 Cambridge. With that, the public hearing is closed and we're in discussion. Todd?
I'm going to vote in favor of this. It is only one corner that's intruding. And Timothy, I didn't quite catch his last name, I apologize for that, but he alluded that, yes, they could slide it and avoid this, but I think personally it's important to keep a design similar to the way Albert Kahn designed it, and it has some weight in my mind, and I think that's worth a slight little exception for a corner, so I'll be voting for this.
Dave?
I drove by there today. It was clear to me that, given the size of modern-day vehicles, it seemed to me, and the speaker confirmed this in his presentation, but it seemed to me impossible for me to have pulled my Honda Odyssey around that corner into that garage as it currently exists. So it's clear to me because of the, what we have on the road now, that something needs to be done, and that's totally separate from the foundation issues and the need to renovate or rehab this. It's notable that this is an Albert Kahn property. I think it's worth, it is providing substantial justice to the community to do what we can to maintain the integrity of an Albert Kahn design. The neighborhood is, this will not impinge on neighbors. There's substantial setbacks all around the neighborhood. And actually, when you turn the curve there towards Washtenaw, there are a couple houses closer towards Washtenaw, or a couple properties that the setbacks of the existing structures are well within the 40 feet existing, but that is around the corner, around the curve. So it's not, those structures aren't really visible from this site, but as stated by both the petitioner and by Todd, it's going to have minimal impact. There will be obviously screening here. Maintaining the integrity of the original design, I think, is important, and it's something that I will comfortably support.
John, quick question. So this variance is a result of the front setback average. What would, if averaging wasn't at play, what would the setback be for this property? Do you know?
It would be 25 feet.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
25 feet.
Okay, so this would meet the required setback if not for the averaging?
Correct.
Okay.
It's just that neighborhood has extensive yards, and so many of the homes are 60, 70, 80 feet back.
Sure.
But the maximum could be applied is 40 feet.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? We ready for a motion?
Got a motion in front of me, I'd be happy to make it.
Thank you, Dave.
ZBA 24-0040, 1921 Cambridge Avenue. In accordance with the established standards for approval, the Zoning Board of Appeals hereby grants a variance of 4 feet 4 inches from section 5.18.5, establishing a front building line. The variance will allow construction of a new 2-car garage, 752 square feet, to encroach into the 40-foot average front setback. The building is to be constructed per the submitted plans.
We have a motion. Do we have support? Thank you, Patty. Dharma?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Dave?
DeVarty, yes.
Patty?
Yes.
Drew?
Yes. Yes.
I also vote yes. Todd?
Yes.
The request is granted. Moving on, we have no unfinished business, new business, reports from council. Dharma?
I do not have anything new to report.
All right, moving on to communications. We noted all of the correspondence we received with regard to petition, the petition at 1921 Cambridge. So with that, we are to public comment. If there is anyone from the public who wishes to speak to the ZBA, I don't see anyone here, but if there's anyone remotely, press star 9 or use the raise hand button.
There are no remote callers.
All right. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Dharma. Support? From Julie. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.